dryness, sensitivity, hair loss. Like, I can recall even looking at the video, my roots being thick. Like, especially when you did that two-strand twist out for my baby shower, I didn't have no problems with my hair. Even back in March.
Cause see, I'm gonna show you something. Please don't get upset. Okay, so let me see your hand. Feel the base, slide down, feel that base, and feel that lock. Now slide down to your root. Going all it. Now you feel that base?
Yes.
You see how thick that base is?
Yes.
That base thick enough to hold that lock. Cause it's big, that part big enough. Now just imagine how small them parts around your edges.
I do. I be like, I got some really tiny parts and medium parts.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, let me.
But the base matches all of these.
Right. Yes.
And you felt that part on the side.
Wow.
Look how thick this part is.
Right.
Now look at all this hair right here go together.
Wow.
Look how thin it is. Like they would have been way thicker. Like I ain't gonna pull it out, but yeah, this would have been way thicker than these.
Man.
Same thing with mine.
I agree.
Right here.
I do not have that security feel at all. Like.
Hey y'all, so basically our loctician was explaining to us about the foundation of our grid pattern, and due to the fact that my sister is going through postpartum shedding, her edges are thinning really badly and she has a couple that fell out. Mine, I don't have that situation, but for the both of us, our locks, this second set of locks that we started, our locks were started like right on the edge, like the literally tip of our edges, and it should have been started back. Not this loctician, it was our previous loctician who started our locks, and she started them like right on the edge. So on top of that tight pineapple hairstyle that I've been talking about, when I had my locks like pulled all the way back and the whole perimeter of my hair fell out, it's due to the fact of that, as well as my grid pattern being started right on the base of our hairline. So we might be getting the front of our hairline, like the front row of our locks, combined with the second row, just so that the grid, the block, is a lot thicker and it'll hold, because I've been having all of these problems with my locks falling out, and it's due to the fact that the locks is literally here and they need to be combined. The front needs to be a lot thicker and the parts are a lot smaller than the ones in the back. So I might have a smaller lock count after this, or it might just be a couple that I need to get combined. But as far as my sister and her postpartum shedding, she has postpartum shedding and she has locks like right on the tip of her hairline, and those blocks are super smaller than the rest of them. So we're going to get this fixed. I have super small locks on the front. Like, look at this. See? This is a super small grid right here in the front, and everything else is thick. Like, all of these blocks are big. So like my sister was saying, we show everything with our hair journey. We don't hide anything. Like, we want y'all to see the real raw truth of locks. Like, it's not always peaches and creams. Like, there's a lot that goes into having locks, as well as like any other type of hairstyle. But we're showing like the real raw journey of our locks and the pros and cons of everything. So if you're thinking about starting locks, or if you have locks, and if you have locks that are like right along the very front of your hairline and they're like super small, you might want to think about getting those combined, or either combined with like the second row behind it, because later on in your hair journey, depending on your hair, it might start to thin out like ours, and we never had this problem up until now. It's once our hair got a lot longer and thicker, that's when the weight of our hair started like really pulling down our hair around our edges, because when our hair was like shorter and they were like thinner and smaller when we first started off, this wasn't an issue. But now our locks are thicker and longer, and the weight around the edges, they're pulling because our locks was started with a grid that is like right on the tip of our edges, and it needs to be started back. So we're going to see how this looks today. I have two of my locks sitting in my purse, and y'all have known that I've had to get some locks reattached a couple times due to that pineapple style straining it, and we figured out what the reason is. It's because of the grid pattern. All right, so it is time for a really good wash. My hair isn't dirty or anything. I had it washed about 2 weeks ago when I did that slick back hairstyle and did the slick back ponytail. So yeah, my hair was washed 2 weeks before this. So we're going to go ahead and get this issue fixed. So she is going in and washing my hair. I think she's using some black charcoal shampoo. If you could see when she moves her hand over here that it's black, see right there, it's some black cleansing shampoo, and it feels so good. I love the way it smells. Looking at my hair, you can't even tell that I'm missing a few in the front because it's not that bad. It's probably about 2 or 3 that I had to fall out, but it's the fact that this issue keeps happening. So we're going to get this fixed today. So now my hair is all freshly washed and conditioned, and this is what my hair looks like when it is freshly washed with nothing in it, no product, no retwisting gel or anything. And I'm just over here playing with my length because it's crazy how fast my hair grows. As you can see, we are at the halfway point, and just look at this growth, y'all. See what I was saying? I have no issues or no problem with the rest of my head. If you can see that grid pattern there. So here we are at the top of my head, and again, I'm only having issues with the front perimeter of my head, where our previous loctician started our locks directly on the top tip of our edges. So that is why we are experiencing this problem. The rest of our head is pretty much fine. As you can see, it's just the front of my head, and it's been happening and happening and happening. So here we are here. She is parting my hair because I want to get a side part, but right there on the other side is where the 2 locks fell out. So after she retwists this side of my head, she's going to go ahead and get the locks that I have and reattach them back to my head. So if you aren't familiar with reattaching locks, yes, it is possible to reattach locks as long as the root isn't damaged. As you can see, I don't have any actual damage to my root. There's no balding, there's no thinning, there's just literally a big patch of an afro where the lock is supposed to be. So you can attach locks as long as there's no balding. So this area I'm pointing at is where the lock is supposed to be. So as you can see that the lock basically snapped off in the middle and it just broke off. So all of that, what you see right there, that little patch of afro, is a lot of new growth on top of the rest of the lock that was there. So she's going to go back through, separate it, because I think there's a lock behind that, like an actual lock that she has to retwist. So she's slicking this down, getting that looking all nice. And see, there it is. So she's retwisting the lock there. I'm not sure if this is 1 or 2 locks. Oh, it's 1. So that's 1 lock that's supposed to be there. And it just looked like that because it was a lot of hair that needed to be retwisted. But this is going to be a close-up view of how you reattach locks. So she's back combing it right here. So that's going to give it like a little stronger foundation when she reattaches it. So here's the locks that fell out of my head. I'm holding 3. These are my actual locks. These aren't any lock extensions or any fake hair that she's putting in. It's literally just my hair that fell out, and she's going to put it back into my head. That is the great part of having locks. If they do fall out, which you don't want them to, but if they do fall out, it is possible to get them reattached. So here she's taking the end of the lock and putting it right at the edge where the afro is. And this tool right here is a crochet tool, kind of like what you do the crochet hair on. And what you do is you poke, you pick, and like you twirl it with some hand technique, and it starts to intertwine and lock the hair together. It's basically just stitching the hair together, and this will keep the hair back into place. So after that, that's pretty much it. She was just taking the roots and she's retwisting it right here, and you cannot even tell that that lock was not even attached to my head. That is so amazing. All right, so we are all done. Look at my hair. It looks amazing compared to the footage from the beginning, and I was looking like, who did it and why? But my hair looks amazing. As you can see, look at all of the locks along the front part of my hair, the perimeter. They look great. She went through and fixed all 3 of those that I was having issues with. But currently, as of today, I'm still dealing with this issue. And my next hair appointment, I may have her to combine the front 2 rows or just combine the smaller locks that are still experiencing this issue. But this is the style that I'm choosing. We're just going to take the locks along the front part of my hair, and we're going to like twist them back into a crown. And she's just putting some really big bobby pins into my hair because my hair is really thick, and only the big bobby pins work, and it won't stay if I use the smaller ones. And I'm loving this. My hair looks so good. Look at this length. I think around this time my hair just hit 2 years. 2 years and a couple weeks, maybe like 2 years and 3 weeks. So we are done, and this is the final results. Hopefully my next appointment I can get my locks reattached, because this was a couple months ago. Well, this was back in November. This video was filmed back in November, and currently I am still dealing with these issues. All right, that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions about our locks falling out or questions about the lock reattachment, you can leave them down in the comment section, and I will see you guys in my next one.